Hey, what's up, everybody? We are back from MegaCon 2026.
And I had a blast.
I did not so much. What's up, everybody? I'm Guy Wozniak. You're watching the Comic Book Guy channel, and joined with me, as always, is my good friend and co-host, Matt.
Hey.
Yes, we went to MegaCon, and we are about to present to you two very different experiences.
Yes, startlingly different experiences of MegaCon.
Now, let me preface my, complaints, because I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to complain a lot about it. I think Matt's going to praise it quite a bit.
Yeah, I had a really good time. I mean, I do have some, small complaints, as always, every year.
Nothing's perfect.
Nothing's perfect.
Yeah. What I do want to say is that largely my complaints with this event are me problems. They're not MegaCon problems. MegaCon absolutely delivered exactly what they said they were going to deliver. A gigantic event of pop culture and fandom with tons and tons of celebrities and photo opportunities and artists and creators and vendors selling all manner of fandom merchandise. All of that was delivered in spades over the course of 4 consecutive days in a 1.1 million square foot convention space. They delivered that. That's what they said they were going to deliver, and they did. What I discovered is that that's probably not the environment for me, and I'm going to explain why. On the other hand, Matt went sort of a different way than I did. I just went as like a normal person buying a ticket and going for one day. Matt went like full on.
For several years, I go to MegaCon. That is the big convention I go to every year. I mean, there has been like a couple years I've gone to Heroes Con instead. And wow, if you're a comic fan and you haven't been to Heroes Con, you absolutely need to. But anyway, that's Heroes Con. We're talking about MegaCon.
MegaCon, just to interrupt you, I knew it was big, right? Last time I've been to MegaCon was 2005-ish, plus or minus a couple of years. It was big back then. But I was doing some research before going to this year's MegaCon, and it seems to be regarded as basically San Diego Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, and then MegaCon. Yeah. It's like 1A, 1B, 1C. If you want to go to any of the 3 largest conventions on, if not planet Earth, at least the United States, MegaCon is right up there with those New York and San Diego Comic-Cons, which I was not prepared for.
Yeah, it's massive.
It is massive. Ridiculous.
The crowds are like huge crowds, big, huge turnout. Oh, like well over 100,000. I think close to 200,000. If the numbers they're bragging about are accurate on their websites.
But what I was saying earlier is I went like a normie, like, I'm just going to go for one day and I'm going to drive and I'm going to park and I'm going to do the whole thing. Matt went like Mr.
That's the thing, yeah.
Mr. High Roller.
Yeah, I go to MegaCon like a high roller. I do. I'm not gonna like lie about that.
So that is why you're going to get some, I think, dramatically different opinions on the experience of going to MegaCon. And again, a lot of this is a me problem. If I was 20 years old, this would probably be a different thing. But I'm, on the wrong side of 45, so things affect me a little bit differently. Now let's get started with like just getting there, just arriving. Your arrival experience was lovely, from what I understand.
Oh yes, it was perfectly fine.
You showed up a day early.
Yeah, that's what me and my wife do. Like I said, I go in style. We will always stay at the hotel that is connected to the convention center.
So this is going to be like the Hilton or the Rosen Center?
The Hilton or the Rosen, yes. Because as soon as they announce the dates for the next convention, we are calling that hotel and booking it, if we can. The Hilton only allows you to book the room in, a certain time frame, so you have to wait. And what we do is we set a reminder on our calendar, okay, call the Hilton, book our room. And we do that as soon as, we find out the dates. So yeah, we always stay at the hotel that's connected to, so this year was the Rosen Center. And it's connected by a walkway. We get there the day before. So there's literally no one there.
So you showed up Wednesday.
We showed up Wednesday afternoon.
And then you get the chance to go get the lay of the land.
Yeah, we had a nice leisurely drive. We got to the hotel. Not a lot of people there.
And to preface this, by the way, speaking of the drive, we are, and part of my frustrations with this whole experience is going to be a little bit of the drive, but we are roughly 3.5 to 4 hours south of Orlando.
I'm a little closer than Guy is by about 20 minutes. So it was roughly about a 3-hour drive for us.
Sure.
And we live right off the interstate. So we're on the interstate within 2 minutes. So yeah, we got up there in about 3 hours, took our time. No rush, because it's getting the day before. And you can even go over there and walk around like the outside hallways of the convention center and because everything's open. It's literally the hotel's connected to the convention center. So we've got to walk over there and see where everything's going to be the next day.
So doing this little bit of recon, which you probably didn't really need because you go to MegaCon so frequently, but that little bit of recon would have probably alleviated a lot of my frustrations.
Well, maybe. Because
there's a point where we were talking and I was like, I didn't even know where that was. And you're like, of course, because you didn't come in the same entrance as me.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff I missed because I couldn't find it.
On Thursdays, they have a completely separate entrance for VIP pass holders and the Premier pass holders, whatever that is. I don't get that. I have the VIP pass. A separate entrance for us that we can go in because there were people trying to get in that door from the hotel and they were told, no, you need to go to the other side of the convention center to redeem your tickets. Because as a VIP, I had mine mailed to me in advance and I activated the night before. So we simply walk up to the door, they scan our badge, we're in.
Yeah.
If you bought yours online, you had to go, like a normal, general admission pass, you had to go redeem your QR code that you printed from your email at the ticket window, which is on the other side. So you had to walk the full length of the convention center.
It's a lengthy walk.
To get in. I did not have to do that. I walked in our little VIP entrance with my already activated badge and walked right in and went right to the VIP lounge and hung out sitting on a couch with my wife until they opened the doors for us to go in.
Now, this is Thursday, and on Thursday, the doors don't open for everybody else. And by the way, I wasn't there on Thursday. We went on Friday, but on Thursday, you get to go in at 2 o'clock instead of 4 o'clock, which is the normal entrance.
They changed it up where they now allow because before it was VIPs and Premier Pass holders only, but now they open it up. If you have a 4-day pass, you get to come in at 2, which I think is a load of crap.
Okay, well, I don't think I saw that on the website, but maybe that was standard.
I think that's a bunch of crap.
But
and then, of course, what invariably happens is I'm standing there in line, as in the VIP line. Okay, we're going to get in first, and then they let the other people in. That's not what happened. We're standing there waiting in line to go in, and these people, I don't know what they're doing with their radios. They're not talking on them because all of a sudden we see all the general admission people are flooding into the convention floor from the entrance on the other side. What is going on here? So apparently the VIP pass means that you get in last to the convention center.
That's a problem.
Yeah, that's a problem because I was very lucky that there was only a handful of artists I was there to hit up because that is key, getting to those artists first so you get your request in because their list usually fills up really quickly. Fortunately, I was able to do that. But yeah, if I wasn't able to, I would have been. Well, I was very upset about that because that's a bunch of crap. As well as all the other.
It's a perk you paid for.
Yes.
So you deserve to get it.
But that's pretty typical of MegaCon, of them not communicating with each other and not getting the right people in at the right time. And that's a problem that happens every year, all 4 days, and it's ridiculous. And you think they could pull their heads out of their butts and straighten us out. It's not difficult.
Yeah. Now, but before we get too far ahead of ourselves, we kind of got like little talking points here about how we're arriving and getting our tickets and getting on the show floor and all that stuff. So let's back up now to my arrival. Again, I didn't show up we drove to Orlando on Thursday with the potential of if we get there early enough, maybe we'll go to the Thursday opening day. But if not, we're just going to go on Friday. We didn't have enough time, and I guess it's probably a good thing because we probably wouldn't have been able to park anyway without prepaid parking. We did prepay for parking for Friday. So we couldn't go on Thursday at all, which is fine.
Yeah, see that I'd have no experience with the prepaid parking. So, I mean, I wouldn't know anything about it. I don't have like a counterpoint to that because
it was a nightmare.
I stay at the hotel. So I just park at the hotel and our car doesn't move the entire time we're there.
Right. Yeah. You're just on foot and it's probably short walks.
Yeah, it's a very short walk.
Well, our walk was not short. And I'll get into that. Let me just preface this by saying, and this isn't a MegaCon problem at all, but our drive up was horrible. And why I'm even mentioning this is because Matt left a day early. And if you can afford to get an extra night's hotel stay, for sure, do it the day early. Because like I said, we wanted to maybe go on Thursday too. Well, we didn't leave the house till almost 10 o'clock, and then traffic on I-75 was stop and go for a big chunk of it, and traffic on I-4 is
especially
awful.
around Tampa.
Yeah, right around Tampa, there was construction.
Yeah.
And then when you got on I-4, there was every time anything merged onto I-4, traffic came to a crawl.
Yeah.
So we drove all the way through I-4 like that. And what should have only taken 3 hours and 15 minutes took 4 hours and 15 minutes.
Well, yeah. Plus, you have to get past all the Disney exits.
Yep.
On I-4 before you get to the convention center, International Drive.
Again, not a MegaCon problem. Just a little tip.
Yeah.
Follow his advice and go a day early. You will thank yourself.
I am not joking. I'm not exaggerating in any way. I start saving for MegaCon the day when we get back.
Right.
That's when every payday, I set aside a little bit of money towards my MegaCon budget next year. I have already started saving for next MegaCon.
Yeah.
I'm not joking about that because I like to go and have a good time and be comfortable my entire time.
No, I mean,
I am.
We were all stressed out by the time we got to Orlando. We were like, I don't want to deal with the convention. Let's just go get some food and hang out at the hotel.
It's the one really big thing I treat myself to every year.
No, that's the correct way to do it. So fast forward, Thursday comes and goes. Friday morning, we're like, all right, we're leaving the hotel. Convention doors open at 10 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken. So we drive over there. I've got prepaid parking, little QR code. We get to the parking lot, and we didn't get the quote unquote good parking when we bought our prepaid. That was sold out in minutes.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we got the next good parking, which is the North Concourse. And if you didn't go, the convention was in the West Concourse, right?
Yes.
Well, I mean, how far away could that be?
They seem to be alternating every year.
Yeah. Next
Some years it's north.
Next year's it's north.
West.
I think next year's north. They've already announced.
I did send their staff an email requesting clarification on that just to make sure 100% so I get the right hotel.
Yeah, because the connected hotels are different depending on which section.
I can't tell you how key that is.
No, we stayed, my wife and I stayed at a Disney hotel because my uncle is a DVC member and he sprung his DVC points for us to go stay at a Disney hotel.
Yeah.
If we weren't staying at a Disney hotel, and we had a wonderful time at the Wilderness Lodge, but if we weren't doing that, for sure, stay at the connected hotel.
You've got to book it really far in advance. Like as soon as you're able to, you should be booking that hotel if you want to stay there.
Yeah.
But if you want to go, on the cheap and stay somewhere like a, considerably less expensive hotel, you can do that and simply Uber to the convention entrance.
That feels really risky after seeing how much of a CF the convention area entrance and drop-off is.
It is.
I feel like the Uber might be like, all right, we're as close as we're going to get. And then just
that might be the case.
He might
or
just chuck you out of the car.
you could have them simply drop you off at the hotel that is connected to the convention center. And you could walk in through that way.
But if you're just a noob like me, you wouldn't even know that that's an option. Like, I don't know.
Well, you're hearing it here first.
So, yeah, keep that in mind.
That is an option. If you are staying away from the convention center, you find a nice rate on a good to cheap hotel, definitely do that. And you can Uber to the hotel that is connected to the convention center. And you simply go in through the sky, a little walkway from that hotel.
Go in the lobby, go up to the second floor.
There are signs clearly marked all over the place telling you in the hotel lobby where to go to get to the convention center.
Now, we got there at about 10 o'clock thinking, we'll let all the head start rush people. So we just went a few minutes late just to hopefully let that big first burst of people clear out.
Yeah, we didn't even get there until 11.
So same
because
idea.
Our first photo op was at noon.
Yeah.
So I got there an hour after the doors opened because again, my big concern is always getting my artist commission requests in. And I had done that the day before.
You did that Thursday.
I'm good.
Yeah, you don't have to go back for that.
No
just pick up.
Yeah.
So we park in the north parking lot. And as we're getting out of the car, the North Concourse building, at this point, we're not 100% clear that MegaCon is actually in the west or the north or the south or the east. So we saw the North Concourse building right there with the stairs leading up to the entrance. And we're like, oh, look, we're so close. So we start walking towards. And on the sidewalk, there's a staircase that goes up to an entrance. And then there's two hordes of people. Okay. There's a giant horde of people just standing there. And I understand that there's a shuttle service, but I don't know exactly what that means. Are we talking about little trams like Disney World? Are we talking about buses? We don't really know.
Yeah, where is this going?
Where does it go? We don't know anything about it other than because there's no information on the website that explicitly says what to do or where to go. There's no person there directing traffic or giving information.
And plus, there are city buses that are driving through there as well.
Oh, sure, yeah. You don't know which was the right bus to get on, maybe.
You're going to see a ton of buses driving around International Drive.
Yeah. So we see that horde of people, and it's probably 50 or 60 people deep. And again, we don't know exactly what's coming to pick these people up. Are we going to get on the first one that comes, or are we going to have to wait for 2 or 3 or 4 to come before we get on?
Well, I will say this. The people going to MegaCon is usually a crowd you can easily pick out.
Oh, you could tell 100%.
Yeah, if you see some dude dressed up like Spock.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, unless he's got mental health issues, he's going to MegaCon.
And that's...
Again, he could have both.
Yeah, and that's what we noticed was there was that group of nerds, and, I'm a nerd too, no disrespect. There was that group of nerds standing there, just obviously waiting for the shuttles. But there's no signage. There's nobody standing there with a MegaCon shirt on telling people what to do. Then there's another horde of people walking in the opposite direction. And we're like, well, clearly that herd of nerds is going to walk to the concourse.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, let's go up the stairs towards the entrance of the North Concourse, thinking at a minimum, we'll just go inside and walk across north to west or whatever.
Yeah. And usually that's the case.
Not this year, though, because apparently there was all kinds of construction and that North Concourse was locked. But there was a security guard standing there.
Yeah.
And of course, he doesn't work for MegaCon. He works for, I assume, the convention center.
Yes.
So my wife walks up to him, excuse me, sir, how far is it to the MegaCon's convention? We, again, are not even 100% clear that it's in the West Concourse, which is, us not doing our research, but whatever. He says, oh, it's about 2 football fields. And we're like, 200 yards? Why would you even wait for the shuttle? So we start walking.
That's literally 600 feet.
He lied. He lied a lot. My wife mapped it out when we got home on Google Maps. It was 1.5 miles. 1.5 miles. That's how far we walked to get to the West Concourse where the ticketing area is. So we showed up at 10. We get to the ticketing area, and then we got to wait for our badges because we didn't get our badges mailed.
Again, I have a VIP pass. I get mine mailed to me in advance.
The lines to wait for the badges were insane.
Yeah, I have my wristband and my badge before I even show up. And we activated it the night before, so I simply walk up to a door and they scan my badge and I'm in.
Now, fortunately, our badges are press badges. I doubt you can see that. So the line to pick up your press badge was literally nothing. So we didn't have to wait in this egregious, long, prepaid. Even if you're prepaid, the line to get your prepaid ticket was easily 15 or 20 minutes. I was kind of standing there watching people for a few minutes. Now, when we got all of our stuff together and we're about to go in, we had, again, arrived at about 10 or maybe 5-10 minutes after 10. We are not walking through the turnstiles to get into the conventions floor for an hour. This was 11 o'clock by the time we're actually walking into the convention. It took us an hour to park and walk and get our badges and get in. So that was our arrival experience. And now we're already walking into it annoyed. You know what I mean? Yeah. When we got to the convention center from the walk, we had to cross International Drive, which was like walking up 3 flights of stairs and going across the skywalk. You don't just cross the street. It's like an 8-lane street. And then walking down, and that gets you in front of the building. Then they had this giant line that was probably shoulder to shoulder 10 people wide, walking towards the ticketing area that was condensing down into 2 double doors. Like there was 10 other double doors they could have opened.
I'm picturing like those photos of like Chinese highways.
Yes.
That are like 1,000 lanes wide and they condensed down to 1.
Yes, that's exactly what it felt like. So that whole process of getting in was miserable. And I don't know if there's a better way to do it that doesn't involve what Matt did, but if there is, we didn't figure it out.
Well, I think like you just went for the 1 day. So
Correct.
If you're there for all 4 days, you have to go through that besides like the parking and stuff like that, and redeeming your badge, you don't have to go through that process anymore.
Yeah.
So that the getting in, not so much getting there, but getting into the actual convention is much easier the following days.
Sure. So after all of that rigmarole, then we'll let Matt go back into his experience. You go into the convention, and for you had like a list, like you had a plan, right? Yeah. And I didn't have a plan. My plan, honestly, this was my plan, was to go get some video footage so that we could talk about the convention and to shop for comic books. That was it. That was my plan. And Matt had a very much different plan than me. So yeah, what was it like when you actually go in and you're going to execute everything that you want to do?
Well, again, I like I said, there is always a screw up with who gets in first. And yeah, we're standing there in line, and they let in the general admission people from the other side of the convention center. They let them in first because we see them like, thundering through there. We're like, what is going on here? But yeah, I was able to get in through our separate side entrance that they have for the VIP and the Premier Pass holders. And we got in there. And I was able to get to the artists that I wanted to see, and I got my commission request in. So there we go. That's the only thing for me that's of importance that I need to get in right away to get done.
Yeah.
So the rest of the days, I got that out of the way. There's no rush for me to get in. So the rest of the time, I would just show up, like a little before our photo ops were scheduled.
How many photo ops did you have for the whole
13?
13, and they were all across all 4 days?
Across all 4 days, yes.
Sure. Okay.
And one, I was able to, because we had, on Friday, we had 5 photo ops, but then we rescheduled one, and we got 6 done in one day.
Nice.
Which is crazy, and there is no way I would have been able to get that done without my VIP pass.
No.
Not a chance.
Nah, no.
Yeah.
Now, I found it interesting when we got there and walked in. You're walking down this long, I call it a hallway, but it's not really a hallway. They have all of these like curtains up.
Yeah.
Not hanging from the ceiling, but from like a frame.
You can see on the map what we're talking about. Yeah, like I know a guy, he's got like there's like a general herding area where they have everybody in.
Mm-hmm.
And he's walking down this long like corridor with all the curtained off area on the right side. And that's one of the back sides of Artist Alley.
Yep.
And then you get into the convention floor and boom, it spits you out. Artist Alley is like kind of like behind you, and straight ahead is vendors, and off to straight ahead on the right is where supposedly the comic vendors were.
Let's talk about the vendors for a minute.
See, for me, I came in a completely different side.
Yeah.
I came in a side, and I'm just, there I am in the vendors.
This entrance.
Photo op area is on the left, and Artist Alley is way off on the right.
This entrance that we had to come in was on the furthest end of the building,
Mm-hmm.
and it was very inconvenient to get to.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually when we leave, confusingly, that's the way we also had to leave. It was very inconvenient to leave from, but we'll get to that later.
But yeah, when I come in, the entrance I come in, it's like outside the main hall, and you see all these escalators, elevators, stairs.
I don't have any idea where that was.
Where the second floor is, where they have all these panels and things like that are taking place up there. The side guy came in. He didn't even see that stuff.
Oh, no. That was a mile away, probably.
Because you have to go in through where he came in and then out through the side door where the area where I came in. And then that's where you would see all this stuff. And even the side of the convention where he came in, he wouldn't see that until he gets much further down the hall. So you wouldn't even be aware of that unless you came in and walked all the way down the hallway and you would see all this stuff. Now, see, where I came in, it was all right there. It was immediately recognizable. And okay, yeah, this is what's here.
Not that we wanted to go to any of the panels and all of the extra stuff, but
I generally never do. The last time I did was when Stanley was there. That was it.
But we asked ourselves, like, as we're walking around, like, where's the John Cena panel? Where is the gaming stuff? Where it's all on different floors. Mm-hmm. We had no idea where that even was. Could we have asked somebody? Maybe. But when we were trying to leave, we asked security guards, where's the exits? Mm-hmm. They were like, we don't know. We're just stopping people from exiting these exits. They did
have maps they gave out. And I mean, honestly, if you want to look at here's the map that they have, right? This is the map they give you. And this shows the convention floor. And there's another piece they have where they have a list of all the vendors and stuff where everybody is. So you can read the numbers on here and see, okay, this is where this vendor's going to be.
Yeah.
You know? And I gotta say, you better bring a magnifying glass.
Oh, the text on that directory page is unreadable.
It is so tiny.
I'm doing one of these with my glasses.
Yeah, I was using my phone to zoom in on them because I mean, even my wife, who has much better vision than me, she's like, I can't even see that. It's so tiny. Mm-hmm. But then on the back, okay, these are the other floors, right?
Upside down.
These are the other floors.
Yeah.
But they don't tell you how on earth you even get there.
No.
So if you're trying to read this and determine how you get to these different floors and what's up there, good luck. You're not going to be able to figure this out. The only way you're really going to know is if you walk in there. You're already in the hallway where all this stuff is, and you can see, like, they do have some pretty decent signs next to the escalators that tell you what's up there.
If you find the escalators.
Well, you'll see in my video that I took from that outside hallway, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, that's not bad. And plus they have like a couple of information booths, and those people generally are pretty helpful. Though they're outside in the hallway.
Now you keep saying, you're talking about this hallway. So in between the...
guy never even made it there.
No, in between the convention hall and the exterior of the building is like a 25 or 30 foot wide hallway that goes the full length of the full length of the convention center. You couldn't get to that hallway from the way that we entered the building.
Yeah, see, you can kind of see on this map. This is where Guy came in, right? And you can see this is where Artist Alley is. And he came in this way and walked this full length, and then boom, here's the vendor area.
You came in from way over here somewhere.
I came in from over here.
Those doors were closed, and they had signs on them that said emergency exit only.
See, which is weird to me because I was coming in and out of those doors all day because the VIP lounge is like right outside these doors, and I just go over there and drop off my stuff with you can check your bags.
Again, I'm getting ahead of ourselves, but when we were trying to leave, we went up to security guards that were standing by all those doors. How do we exit? And they said, you can't exit. This is for emergency exits only.
Yeah.
And we said, well, how do we get out? And they said, we don't know.
Yeah, see all these doors over here? Yes, that's accurate. But the doorways along here, like especially by the autograph area and everything like that, you could come in and out of there like all day. Because that's what I was doing.
No, they wouldn't let us out there.
That's very strange. But again, there's like a complete lack of communication between the convention center staff and the MegaCon staff. There's a complete disconnect there.
Yeah, that reminds me, I don't even know if I should bring this up because this is weird and this probably needs to be addressed. When we came in, so I have a herniated disc in my back, so I can't walk for like hours and hours. So my wife was pushing my little wheelchair, and generally I just set my backpack on the wheelchair.
Yeah.
But if I needed to have a seat, I could sit down in the wheelchair, not even to be pushed around so much as just to go off to the side somewhere and have a chair to sit on, right? So as we're coming in, they said, oh, wheelchairs have to go through a separate little security check, metal detector, right?
Okay.
So we go through the metal detector, and my wife's wearing a backpack. She's pushing the chair, which has my backpack on it, and then I'm right behind her. And we all walk through it basically at the same time. And the security guy says, oh, that set off the detector. I have to look in that bag. My bag sitting on the wheelchair.
Yeah.
My bag has like 6 pockets, right?
Yeah.
He has me open the main pocket, and he goes, okay, you're good, and flags us through. Didn't look in my wife's backpack, didn't search our persons, didn't search the pouches on the wheelchair or anything else.
Huh.
I mean,
I'll say this. All 4 days, no one ever searched anything.
Yeah.
And I have this backpack, which I will not be using anymore. I bought it at MegaCon last year. It's this really cool, like, Wolverine backpack. But the problem is it has too many pockets.
Right.
And it's infuriating dealing with all these friggin' pockets. It looks cool and everything, but I won't be using it again. It's too much.
The thing that struck me odd about that situation was that there are multiple places where cosplay props need to be checked before they can enter.
Yeah.
But they didn't check our backpacks sufficiently.
My backpack wasn't checked any time I ever went in.
Anyway, nothing bad happened, so whatever. But like security.
I mean, maybe they got some really awesome like metal detectors that maybe they got the kind that like detect gunpowder or I mean, but then you could bring in knives and shurikens and whatever, bow staffs.
Yeah, there could be something that I'm not aware of that like, oh, the security is good enough. But
maybe the metal detector technologies progressed that much it can identify individual weapons. I don't know.
It was weird, but anyway,
we did go through an X-ray. We just don't know it.
Like the Total Recall.
Yeah.
But anyway,
that was cool. They had the whole fight scene.
Yeah,
you see skeletons fight. That was cool.
That was good stuff.
Yeah.
So let's talk about crowds, show floor. Let's talk about vendors. The crowds it was funny. I texted you and I was like, oh my God, these crowds are absurd. Here was the problems that I ran into. I couldn't even, and by the way, I brought a pile of cash with me to buy stuff, right? We stopped at the bank and like, not thousands upon thousands of dollars, but I was going to spend some money to buy comics, right? And I want to show you.
I highly recommend you bring cash.
Yeah.
You're going to get much better deals if you're paying it cash.
So when we got there, though, I had nothing to put my comics that I was planning to buy. So I bought, for $5, the giant MegaCon bag, right? I'm like, all right, I'm just going to load this baby up with all the stuff I'm going to buy. This is going to be the best day of my life.
Yes.
And then it's empty. I didn't get anything. I was unable, and I dropped my phone. Let me grab that. I was unable to purchase anything. I brought all this cash. I was so sure that I was going to buy a bunch of comic books. And I bought a bag to put all of my swag in. And I left with a bag and a lanyard. I bought this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles lanyard for $5 also.
Yeah, it is. You can see on this map here, this purple section and this yellow section.
That's supposed to be comic vendors.
This is supposed to be comic vendors.
Right.
This whole section. So you're thinking, wow.
That's probably
That's a lot. I'm not even going to get to these guys. There's so many.
If I was going to count all of the squares in that section that are the tables, I bet there's 60 to 80 tables there.
Yeah. There was maybe a dozen.
I don't think I saw more than 10 comic book vendors.
There was maybe a dozen, like straight up comic vendors.
Yeah, full tables, full of long boxes with the racks.
That amount.
Now,
out of that many,
were
actually comic vendors.
You spent way more time there than me. My assumption was, and here's why I'm making this assumption. Again, the crowds were so severe, in my opinion. And Matt, I texted him. He's like, "Oh, you should, the crowds aren't that bad." I have an analogy for this, but
Thursday, I will say this: Thursday is usually incredibly chill.
Yeah,
like there's not a lot of people there at all. But for some reason, well, I know exactly the reason now because I asked. It was packed this Thursday. I mean, it was packed, and Friday was was busier than usual because usually you get more people Friday.
Spring break.
It was spring break.
Yeah.
That's why I'm there, and there's like all these kids walking around. Then it hits me. I'm like, it's got to be spring break. And so I ask, and that's what it is. And now MegaCon next year is not until the end of May.
Summer break.
There's no school. So yeah, they're moving it back to get more people, more butts in seats, as they say.
So here's my problems that I had with the crowd situation and by extension vendors. And the crowds, then again, Matt was like, they're not that bad when I'm texting them, right? So here's my analogy, first of all.
I was able to get around.
No.
But then I'm a rude son of a bitch. And I will elbow through people. I will walk right in front of you as you're trying to take your stupid cosplay photos in the middle of the aisle. I don't care.
Now, this is going to be, I think...
I'm there to get around and get stuff done.
I think most people that are going to be watching this and that watch our show will probably think the opposite. They would probably think that I'm the person that will elbow my way through crowds. And they think you're like...
Well, I'm not hitting people.
They probably think that you're the Mr. Nice guy.
I'm just kind of like...
super polite.
Nosing my way through the crowd as I walk. I'm holding my wife's hand and she's in tow behind me. And I'm weaving my way through this crowd. And if I'm walking in front of you while you're trying to take a photo of somebody dressed like Sailor Moon, I don't care.
See, I'm not like that. And this also comes to when you're going to the vendors' booths, right? Like,
well, you know what? You shouldn't be taking photos in the middle of a congested aisle while people are trying to get around.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't be doing that. But I'm not gonna like plow through people. I feel bad about doing that.
I'm not knocking people over.
I know you're not. I'm just saying. I'm much more timid in this scenario, right? But so the problem for me was this: the crowds were thick enough, not so thick that I ever felt in danger, not so thick that I felt like I was being crushed or anything. Like I could get around if I wanted to go and leave. I could go and leave, right? It wasn't so thick that I felt like I was going to be trampled to death. But if there was an emergency, I would 100% be expected to be trampled to death. There was like that many people. And we'll bring in video showing you the different crowd levels and stuff. But here's the issue. Because it was so crowded, there were spots like the community area where they have like the Batmobile and the Ghostbuster Mobile and the Jurassic Park car and everything. Yeah. If you wanted to just kind of like walk through there and not pay the money to go get a picture with the vehicle, but just kind of like stop for a minute and a half and just look at it and take a picture.
Appreciate it,
No. There's a flow of traffic going left and a flow of traffic coming right. Yeah. And if you stopped, you were the log jam in that river of traffic.
Yeah.
So you could at best do a little drive-by and glance at the Batmobile as you went past.
I've heard people describe that as the con crawl.
Yes, a shamble.
It was like shambling, zombie-like pace that people walk at as they're walking because they're sitting there on their phone and they're like zombies.
But you can't stop.
Yeah.
Unless you want to be the
That's
jerk.
why I don't want to sit there and I'm walking at the slowest pace, and then they'll just randomly stop in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
People do that, and if you were MegaCon, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's why I'm like a snake slithering through this crowd of people, bringing my wife behind me.
Right. But yeah, so that flow of traffic of the crowd, what that did was largely prevent me from feeling comfortable. And again, I could have shoved my way through and I could have elbowed people and I could have made my presence known that I'm trying to get to that vendor and I want to look at their stuff.
Yeah.
But I wasn't comfortable doing that. And it made it such that I couldn't comfortably go shop at any of these vendors.
Yeah.
There were comic book vendors that we walked past where everyone's crowded around the long boxes. And I just had to keep walking because I didn't want to shove my way in to be able to view what they were selling. With a couple of exceptions, and I'm going to mention these two in particular. I went to one vendor, and he had an Amazing Spider-Man 129. That was one of my books I wanted to get while I was there, right? And I'm like standing there, looking at him, looking at the book, looking at him. Now, there are a dozen or 20 other people around his booth, and he's debatably just chit-chatting with people and not really providing any customer service, so to speak. He never glanced at me to even acknowledge that I was there, staring at him in the eyes, waiting for his attention so that I could ask to see that book that was on his wall. Could I have forcefully grabbed his attention? Of course, I could have. I understand that this is a me problem. It's not a them problem.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be that person. So I just stand there politely for 5 minutes. I'm not exaggerating. I looked at my watch. 5 minutes just standing there, staring at him, staring at the book, staring at him, trying to, get the attention that you would normally do. Like somebody should acknowledge you.
Yeah.
Never acknowledged me. So I just looked at my wife. I was like, I guess I'm not buying it. And we just walked away. The guy lost what was potentially $1,000 sale.
See, yeah, I have a very different approach.
Again, this is a me problem. Don't criticize in the comments saying like, oh, it's your fault. I know it's my fault. I'm just telling you my experience.
I'm like a guy at a bar trying to get a drink on a Friday night.
Again, I don't like to go to bars because I don't want to.
I'm getting your attention.
No, I don't like doing
something
it.
on that wall I want to look at. I'm over here going like this, Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I'm interested in seeing that book. I mean, of course, I'm friendly as hell. I'm very polite, But yeah, I'm getting your attention. You got something I want to take a look at? I'm going to get your attention. And you know what? They're more than happy to oblige because they want that sale.
Yeah, I mean, if you're willing to fight for it, I guess.
There are a couple people you meet. Like I did see one. There wasn't a lot of like vintage toys there. As I've talked about before, I'm trying to find some carded Secret Wars figures, the original Secret Wars figures from the 80s.
Yeah.
They're hard to come across.
Especially because you got most of them already.
Yeah, there's 3 I need. I'm not bothering with the European figures because you'll see in our video, a guy had 3 of them. And they were like $1,000 a piece because they were graded and carded and everything. So the cards were unpunched. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, that's actually a decent price for those. Yeah. But I'm not getting those. Not a chance. But yeah, a guy had about 3 Secret Wars figures like on a rack. And I could see the first one. It's Captain America. I already have that one. But there's 2 more underneath there. And for the life of me, I could not get this guy's attention. It was crazy. He's like standing there talking to this guy. They're both talking very animatedly and very loudly. And he's just describing to this guy all the stuff that he has that he didn't bring to the convention. Okay, yeah, you're talking about some cool stuff. Why didn't you bring it? I mean, what, do you want me to come to your house? Not a chance, buddy, because he seemed a little, squirrely. So I'm like, excuse me. He's like, hey, oh, wait a second. He's like, and he just keeps talking to the guy. I'm like, excuse me. And he keeps telling me oh, yeah, hold on. You know what? Never mind.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there. I'm actively trying to get your attention. And you're BSing with this guy who is not going to buy anything. I'm pretty sure he looked like another vendor. I'm trying to point to a Secret Wars figure, and the guy is blowing me off. I'm like, okay, fine, have it your way.
Yeah. So
and I took my business elsewhere. I didn't find any other Secret Wars figures, unfortunately.
So, I mean, your outcome is basically the same as my outcome in that, like, you tried to get his attention.
Yeah, I was actively trying to get his attention. I mean, I wasn't, hey, I wasn't being rude and yelling at him. I was trying to be as polite as possible. He just didn't seem interested. It was very strange.
My other negative experience with comic book vendors was a lot of them, that at least I only probably went and looked at maybe 4 or 5 vendors' tables because I couldn't get to a lot of them in the first place. But the ones that I did go look at, the majority of them, if it wasn't all of them, it was at least, half or more of them. Like their long boxes were not priced or organized.
Yeah, I will say this. There were 2 comic vendors I went to, And I go there and I start looking what they got, and it's a mess. It's a jumbled mess. No rhyme or reason to it. I just kept going.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here because this guy, the one guy in particular, he had a ton of long boxes. He had a lot of stuff. I'm not going to sit here all day and go through your stuff and maybe buy one or two things. And who's to say his prices are inferior? Because nothing was even priced. That is so annoying.
There were some vendors that had prices, and all of the ones that had boxes like $2 for everything in the box.
Yeah.
That's obvious. But
Like your $1 comic box and stuff. Yeah.
I was looking for Amazing Spider-Mans, and there was a guy that I went through the long box or two that he had of Amazing Spider-Mans, and it went back to some early 100s issues all the way up through the 5s and 6s and 700s. No prices on any of it. I might have pulled a issue 153 out, which is just a random issue. Does he want $1 for this? Does he want $20 for this? Because it could have been anywhere in between. Now I got to figure out all what I want. Then I got to get his attention. I just ended up leaving that vendor. And the main takeaway though is that there were so few comic book vendors in this 1 million square foot room to begin with that it was an overwhelming disappointment for me after already being irritated with my arrival experience.
Yeah. I will say this, the majority of the comic vendors, their stuff was organized. It was priced. We're just talking about like 2 or 3 that were just a mess.
Yeah.
And I didn't even bother go looking through there. Because for one, just organized comics that where you got. I'm looking at an Iron Man number 32, and the next book is ElfQuest. It was just so random, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. But I'm going to go to another vendor whose stuff is organized. And even there were other vendors that had like I found that Ghost Rider book. That guy had primarily pop toys. He had very few comics.
Yeah,
but you got to take the time,
and not in this area designated.
Yeah, outside the comic vendor area, you'd see that all over the place throughout the convention center. So you got to take your time because I would have missed that Ghost Rider book.
I was very disappointed with my comic book search experience. Now, again, me problem, not a MegaCon problem. It's not called Comic-Con. It's called MegaCon.
Yes.
So my expectations of there being dozens and dozens of comic book vendors were just misplaced for no reason, for no fault of the conventions. It was just what I was expecting. And when I went back 20 years ago, it was packed with comic books.
Yeah.
So that's where my expectations were based from. But that's just not the reality of the comic book industry anymore.
I would say the overwhelming majority of stuff was anime related.
Okay, so let's talk about this.
That was the largest group of vendors that was there.
I would say, let's just first put it in, and I texted this to Matt while we were there. The ratio of comic books to all other crap was 10-1 in favor of all other crap at a minimum.
It's 20-1.
And it might have been worse, right?
Yeah. Comic books.
Comic books, yes.
Yeah.
It was probably worse than 10-1. It was probably 20 or 25-1. Yeah. But if you just include comic book toys and comic book T-shirts and everything else, it starts to even out. But there were vendors there. It felt more like a flea market than a comic book show to me. There was a big, huge display booth, like in a trailer that they must have brought in through a garage door somewhere. I don't know how they got this trailer in there.
Yeah.
And it said like cattle something. I forget the name of it. And they were selling leather wallets and leather purses and leather,
I see a lot of that.
Leather stuff. Nothing to do with anything MegaCon related, I wouldn't think.
Well, that's more for kind of like the fantasy genre.
No, but this was like Western wear. It wasn't even like leather fantasy stuff. It was literally just like Western wear.
Because you steampunk people are into that.
No.
Because you always see like a few steampunk people peppered in the crowd too.
No, I would expect, I don't know if he had them, but I would expect there to be leather chaps along with the wallets and the purses. It was that theming. It had like the branding on the booth was all like cattle skull stuff. It was Western.
Oh, yeah.
Very Western.
Yeah. They had all kinds of... Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. I saw them.
Tons of mystery box dealers.
A lot of that. A lot of mystery box stuff. More than I've ever seen them. Because you'd see them, but they had so many.
You had mentioned dice. There was
so many people selling dice.
Yeah, that was weird. Just the volume of
role-playing dice.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people selling dice, which I thought, why are so many people selling dice?
T-shirt vendors out the wazoo.
A lot of T-shirt vendors. I hit up a lot of the T-shirt vendors.
Yeah, you did get quite a few T-shirts.
Yeah.
What else? Anime. All manner of anime.
So much anime stuff
was crazy. The costume prop swords and weapons,
the plastic guns and stuff like that. A lot of that stuff.
Tons of that stuff.
There were 2 vendors selling lightsabers. I hit up one of them. I think I got a great lightsaber. I love it.
Yeah, the lightsaber.
You usually see 1 or 2 there.
I mentioned this to Matt, and he said he bumped into 1 or 2. I didn't see them, and here's another issue because of the crowds. There were whole aisles we'd be walking down and be like, "No, I'm not going that way. It's too crowded." Mm-hmm. So we missed easily, I don't know, 2/3 of the floor.
Yeah, I managed to navigate up and down every. Again, I was there all 4 days.
Yeah,
I was able to get down every aisle and lay eyes on every vendor.
So I say that we missed a ton of the floor space because of the crowds and the wanting to avoid the absolute logjam of people in some places. That I never saw a dealer selling nice comic book related statues. You know, the polystone statues and ceramics and
2.
Yeah.
One guy I've seen, he's there every year. I've seen him before, and his prices are generally reasonable, very reasonable prices. It's just I'm at the point now where statue wise, I have what I need.
Yeah.
Because honestly, if I want to put up a new statue, I have to take one down. So I'm very satisfied. I'm very comfortable with the number of statues and stuff like that I have displayed. So I'm not really in the market for that. But hey, I like looking at that stuff. Yeah,
I want to check it out. Yeah.
This guy had a 1/6 scale 89 Batmobile. I mean, it was awesome. And you know what? The guy loved talking about it. He's like, I kind of don't want to sell this. I'm like, no, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I bet.
So that was awesome. I mean, I got that in the video too. That was awesome seeing that. But yeah, and his prices were really reasonable. And then I saw another guy had some statues and stuff. He was a little more pricier. And I was in fact going to buy a Bowen Punisher mini bust.
Oh yeah, you told me about this.
Yeah, the price was right.
$50.
It's him holding the 2 guns. The half bust of him holding the 2 guns. It was $50. I'm like, that's a great price for that. He didn't have a box.
That was going to get broken.
And that was a big issue because that is not a very durable statue. It would definitely break me carting it around. He didn't have a box for it or anything. He didn't even have bags, man. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this thing? So I had to pass. So I knew it would get broken.
You know what? I didn't see a lot of toy vendors action figures and stuff like that.
I saw a bunch of that, but
did you?
But not vintage stuff.
No. I saw a lot of people selling the same stuff you'd buy at Walmart or Target. I didn't see old school toy vendors, vintage toy vendors.
Oh yeah, no.
There was some. There was one guy that had individually bagged loose figures all over his walls.
Oh yeah, that guy's there every year.
Little green tags.
It's all loose stuff. Yeah.
I saw him, but you know what I did see a lot of was pop toys. I mean, you could choke a herd of cows with the number of pop toys that I saw at this convention. And I have no interest.
All over the place. I have zero interest in pop toys.
But vintage Ninja Turtles, I would have loved to browse some vintage Ninja Turtles. I didn't see any of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, overall, it really just felt like a very nerd fandom, and don't take the nerd as a pejorative.
We're nerds.
Yeah,
yep.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
A nerd fandom flea market.
Nerds for life.
It just felt
like get that tattooed.
Nerd life.
Nerd for life.
But yeah, it just felt very flea markety with a spin where it was focused on this particular group. And I wasn't there for that. That's not what I wanted. I didn't want the T-shirts and the prop swords and the Funko Pops and that. I wanted the comics, and it did not deliver in the regards to comic book shopping for me.
Yeah,
at all.
I did get a good run through all of Artist Alley. And like I said, I knew before I even got there who I was there specifically to see. Fortunately, Amanda Connor wasn't doing sketches, so I missed out on her. But I did get the 2 that I wanted to. So yeah, for me, a lot of the artists and stuff, because the ones that were there, they're good, talented artists. It's just they're so expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very expensive, and I'm not there for that. If I'm going to throw down a lot of money on an artist, it's going to be someone a really high caliber, at least in my opinion. Somebody that I really want to get.
Somebody that means something to you. And their work,
absolutely.
Their work is meaningful.
And I got the 2 that fit that bill for me, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I actually came back with money. which, that's nice. I bought a couple things to fix up the house a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I came back with all my money. Yeah. That's just not what I wanted to do. And again, I didn't bring a ton. It's not like I was going to spend 10 grand.
I can't stress how important enough is to, like, if you can, you got to really look at every vendor that is there and take a quick peek through everything they have, because more often than not, you're going to see that, like, these people that have other things besides just the pop toys, like the guy had, like a rack of comics behind him. And I looked in there, and that's how I got my Ghost Rider #1.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you got to look carefully, man.
I will say, going around and shopping, though, it's not like a relaxing stroll.
Oh, no.
Through a quiet little shopping mall.
You got to be comfortable with crowds.
I mean, like, so here's...
And strange smells. New and interesting smells.
Yeah. I will say I never felt overly anxious.
Yeah.
But it was not leisurely. It was not relaxing. It probably... Because you're just so aware... at least me, again, somebody with a anxiety disorder, is so aware of all of these people all around you that, like, it's hard to focus on the hunt. I'm focusing on, like, not being crushed by a crowd of people that are trying to move and stuff. So, yeah, if you're at all uncomfortable with large crowds and with lots of people being very close to you, I would hard pass.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely gets really, really crowded, especially Saturdays. Saturdays are insane.
I thought Friday was going to be like, okay, Thursday's opening day, so people maybe are going to be like rushing to get in.
Yeah, usually Thursday's super, super chill. That was not the case. It was really busy for a Thursday.
I was hoping like, oh, Friday's going to be kind of like a lull day because, all the people going on Saturday and Sunday, maybe they're not going to miss work on Friday. It was not a lull. Again, I never felt like...
Friday was, I will say, like, normally... It was way busier on Thursday and Friday than it has been in years. Very busy. And I chalk that up to it being spring break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess...
But next year it's in May, in the summertime, end of school year. So it's going to be insane.
Would I ever go again? At this point, if you ask me, I'm probably never going to go again.
Well, I mean, doing it with a VIP pass, as you can see... are two completely different experiences. But being able to get a VIP pass at this point is...
Nearly impossible.
Nearly impossible.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie about that. It's nearly impossible. Because they have a limited number that they sell. Because, what's that line from The Incredibles? When everybody's special, nobody is.
Right.
They sell too many, it's going to lose its luster and people are going to stop buying them. So they do keep it to a limited number. And... the people that had a VIP pass the previous year get first shot at getting a new one the next year. So I'm going to get an email.
So people have to pass.
Yeah.
Before anyone else can get one.
Yeah. So exactly. So I'm going to get an email and they're going to say, hey, VIP passes you can purchase your VIP pass for next year now. And then they don't even open it up to everyone else until like a month later. So you have a lot of time to ponder getting that VIP pass.
And there's how many you said? 500?
No, not even that. There's maybe 100.
Okay, so because you're not being super clear on this, people need to understand this. 100 people had VIP passes in 2026. Let's say 5 of them decide they're not going to renew, and the other 95 have a month to go ahead and renew. Then it gets open.
I'm going to say the overwhelming majority of people get it again the next year.
Yeah, that's what I'm implying.
Because every year I go, I see the same people in lines and same people in the lounge.
But here's the crux of it. So let's just say 95 out of those 100 people renew. Those last 5 free VIP passes go on sale and sell
in a heartbeat.
Minutes, probably.
Gone.
So you're not going to get one.
Yeah.
Unless you're, I don't know, Doctor Strange or something. You got magical powers.
Somehow you're able to snag one.
Yeah.
But it is highly unlikely that you're going to. But what I've done with my friends in the past, because I've had people that come to MegaCon, and if you're there for autograph, I was able to get all my autographs so easily. I don't think I waited more than 5 minutes for Carl Urban and Lena Headey. I got them with such ease using that VIP pass.
That it freed up so much time for you.
Yeah. That I was able to walk down every aisle and see every vendor and find those little hidden gems, those comics that I was able to get. but yeah, if I've run into a friend there, or like my brother went one year and he was going to be there Saturday only because I forget who he was even going to see. And I met up with him and I'm like, here you go. Here's because once you're on the convention floor, you don't need your badge for anything unless you're getting photo ops or autographs. So I just handed it to him and said, okay, there you go. Have fun. And he was able to get all the stuff he was there for. And then a couple hours later, he's like, here you go. There, handed it back. Thanks, man, so much. So I've done that before. Just, let somebody else use it real quick for just like an autograph or something. Because it's a lifesaver, man. It really is. But unfortunately, it's extremely difficult to get one if you don't have one from the previous year. And they just keep getting more and more expensive. When I was first going to MegaCon, the VIP pass was $100. Now it's over $600.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew it was 600. I'm wowing because it was only 100.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
Like 20 years ago.
So, okay.
So, I mean, it's been a long time. I've been going to MegaCon a very long time.
Was the experience and the benefits of the pass the same throughout that entire time, or did the benefits get better to reflect the price?
No, they've been pretty much the same. The lounge is new, over the last few years. Yeah. And the bag check is the newest thing that they've improved upon. And the bag check is nice because you're not lugging all this crap around throughout the day. You can go and like check your bag in the lounge, and they will hold it there till the end of the day. That's nice.
That's cool.
So yeah, that's pretty nice. That's definitely a nice perk. But the big advantage of the VIP pass is the skipping the autograph and you're not skipping the line. You're just in the VIP line for photo ops and autographs.
Right.
That's because I was able to get quite a bit.
For celebrities only, not for comic creators.
No.
That's an important distinction.
Yes. No, it doesn't do anything for comic creators whatsoever.
Yeah.
Nothing. And also there's like other things that get you like preferred seating at panels, but I don't do that. So I've never taken advantage of that. Supposedly if you go to a panel, you get like special seating for those things. I don't know. I haven't used that. And you get a bag of swag, you get like a couple of prints and some comics and some little figure. Most of the time I don't even hang on to it. It's just junk that I'm not interested in. I'll usually give it to someone else that's in the lounge or something.
Speaking of the panels, I have that notated here. Just neither one of us did any of the panels or the extra events or stuff. But like there's all this other stuff that you can do outside of the convention hall. And then again, we touched on this briefly. The way that the normies had to enter, it's not obvious or even visually, you can't even see where any of that stuff is. Yeah,
if it's your first time there, you're not going to know it's even there.
No, I would not have known that there was a second story that was accessible based on anywhere that we went. There was no escalators, no stairs, no signs, no nothing.
Yeah.
If you didn't do the research beforehand and figure out like, I want to go to this panel and this is where it's located, you would just assume. You wouldn't assume anything. It wouldn't exist to you. You know what I mean? Like, it's like there is no spoon in the Matrix, right? Like, there is no panels. You wouldn't know about it. Yeah. It was weird that so much of the stuff in this building was effectively hidden from sight.
Yeah, until you go all the way through by like the autograph area and go out through those doors.
The autograph area was interesting in that, like, it was, again, obscured behind all of these black curtains. And I never could, like, there was no place where I could go unless I walked into the area. Like, it wouldn't be like, oh, hey, there's Carl Urban. Like, you can't see into the autograph area. It's all behind curtains. At least everywhere that I was.
Well, no, there's points where you jump in to the autograph area.
Sure, but
on the ends, and there's a couple of points in the middle. But yeah, you're not.
It's not open.
You're not walking around. There's celebrities like 2 feet from you.
Not at all.
No, that's not going to happen.
This isn't a complaint. This is just an observation that I thought was interesting.
You'll see. I took some really good video of that, of what the autograph area looks like. And you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Like you can get in from both ends. It's a very large area. It's a huge area, and you could get in from either end. And then there's a couple points in the middle where you can I think maybe 3 or 4 points where you can jump into the autograph area.
But the rest of it is all behind screen.
Well, yeah, because
right?
they have rows.
Here's the reason I bring it up. My buddy Brian was joking with me because we were talking about all the celebrities there, and I was like, Helen Hunt is going to be there. That's weird, right?
Yeah.
So when we got back, he's like, "Did you see Helen Hunt?" And I was like, "No, I didn't. I couldn't see anyone. I didn't walk into the autograph area because I had no plans of getting autographs."
Yeah.
But you couldn't walk past it and be like, "Oh, there's Helen Hunt. Oh, there's Carl Urban." Oh,
yeah, I got video of that. You'll see in my video. When I got autographs from him, I'm standing right in front of him.
oh, yeah, of course.
But from because there's like these very long lines that like snake through this little area that they have taped off on the ground, and the line will snake through to get to the celebrity. You can like walk around over there, and you can clearly see. Okay, hey, yeah, there's Alec Baldwin.
Yeah,
there's Carl Urban. There's Helen Hunt, and I gotta say, Helen Hunt, she was unrecognizable. I was like, is that her?
Yeah,
is that you could not tell. You could not tell that was her at all. And I'm not saying because of like plastic surgery or anything like that. It's just she was completely unrecognizable as Helen Hunt to me. It was very strange. But everyone else, there's Carl Urban, there's Lena Headey, and my photo op with her, she's like got a ball cap on and she's wearing it like this, I'm like, come on, man. Joey Pantaleone, he was kind of the same way. He's got a big beard, he's got like these mirrored glasses, and he's got a hat pulled. Like, dude, come on, man.
Your picture with all the Lord of the Rings people, Sean Austin and
oh yeah, all of them.
Liv Tyler, they all looked great.
Oh yeah, that turned out great. My wife's got a funny look on her face because she got elbowed by Orlando Bloom. So yeah, I was joking with her. She got elbowed by him, and she's like, you just elbowed me, dude. And because I'm on the other side of her, and I'm next to Sean Astin and and John Rhys Davies and a couple of the Hobbit guys, and we're over here. They're like, hey. And John Rhys Davies got this look on his face, and I'm like, I'm in the cool kids section, man.
Yeah,
we're over here having a blast, and you're over there getting elbowed by people. Yeah, that photo turned out really good.
Did you do a photo with Alec Baldwin or just an autograph?
Yeah, I did a photo with Alec Baldwin.
Now, I know the answer to this question, but I'll ask it for the benefit of the audience because I suggested and you didn't do it. When you went to meet Alec Baldwin, did you do the finger guns?
No, because I didn't want to get ejected from the convention.
Yeah, I wonder if he had a policy or anything.
I would imagine he would be probably pretty upset about that. So I didn't say anything. And I will say this, he was very polite. I asked him about how it was because he was in the Shadow. And, I got a soft spot in my heart for the Shadow. I love that movie. It's just campy, good fun.
Yeah.
And he... in
Fun
that
for Red
movie
October.
was Tim Curry. Tim Curry, I love Tim Curry. He's fantastic in everything he's in. And I asked him what it was like working with Tim Curry, and he's had a lot of nice things to say about him. He said he was a pleasure to work with. He was a real gentleman, genuinely a very sweet man, and very kind to everyone. I'm like, that's pretty cool. That's really nice of him to say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was perfectly fine.
Now, before we go on to the exiting the convention catastrophe that we went through versus what I'm sure was a lovely time that you went through.
Oh, yeah. I'm over here skipping through a field of daisies.
Is there any other particular points about the convention? Because you were there for 4 days. I'm just talking about my 1 day there. And overall, I was disappointed. Again, a me problem, not a convention problem. They delivered what they promised. My expectations were wildly out of line with what to expect. So, not a MegaCon problem. If you're into that scene, you will love it. If you're like me and you just wanted to shop for comics, bad place to go, in my opinion. But so my 1 day experience, pretty bad. Your 4 day experience, quite good. Is there anything else, though, before we talk about getting the hell out of this place that you want to touch on?
Okay, well, let's go look over our topics, our talking points here. The crowd, the show floor, okay. Comic vendors, yes. The flea market vibe that you got from it, yeah. Celebrity photographs, autographs, and panel events, and then leaving. I will say I always stay the extra night. I stay Sunday night.
So you left on Monday.
I left Monday.
But what about just exiting the building? Because this was a nightmare for me.
I'm staying at the hotel connected to the convention center. So I mean, I'm not exaggerating. When I walk off the convention floor, 5 minutes later, I'm in my hotel.
Yeah.
Piece of cake. And plus then I stay that Sunday night, so I am not fighting this sea of traffic getting out of the convention center just for the drive all the way back, to Southwest Florida. So yeah, and then what do we do the next day? Monday during the day, we take a nice leisurely drive. We usually stop at that antique mall at Lakeland.
Oh, did you do that this year?
No, we did not.
I always wanted to go there. I've seen tons of videos. It looks cool.
Yeah, get there early because you're gonna be. Next thing you know, you look at your watch. You've been there 5 hours,
and you're $2,000 less in your wallet.
Yeah, and you got a bunch of crap that you have absolutely no use for, but it was such a deal you couldn't pass it up.
Yep,
I've been there and done that.
So yeah, you're staying the extra day.
My experience is completely different than yours.
So when we tried to leave, at this point, we get parked at 10, we get in at 11, we walk around for a few hours. It's pushing 4 o'clock or so. Mm-hmm. And we have dinner reservations for 6 o'clock. So we got to get out of this place, get to our car, and get all the way back across I-4 to the Disney hotel where we're staying, where our dinner reservation
on a
is.
Friday.
On a Friday, yes. So we wanted to beat the 5 o'clock traffic. So we left about 4, right? We're like around 3 or 4. We're like, it's time to go. So we weren't there for very long.
And you're going to Disney too, which is even more traffic.
Yeah. The traffic part wasn't really the nightmare part though. So we're somewhere deep in the show floor in the like 2,000, 3,000 aisle. We've walked up. We started at the 9,000s and went down to the 1,000s because that's just the way the layout was.
Yeah, those are actually.
It was weird.
Yeah,
like we started over here and kind of came.
Yeah,
we ended over here
near
somewhere.
the exit doors, which would have got you out of there.
So that's what we did. We walked to this hallway, and we're like, okay, there's door after door after door after door, right?
That's where I'm coming in and out of.
Every door had a sign on it, and there was several security guards, and the sign said emergency exit only. And when we asked security guards, where do we leave? I'm telling you, they said, we don't know. That's what 5, I'm not exaggerating.
Bizarre.
I am not exaggerating. 5 security guards we asked, how do we leave? We do not know, they said. Okay, so we know where our entrance was, and we don't want to walk that way because it's completely in the opposite direction of the parking lot. Which is this way. But after 15 minutes of wandering around trying to find an exit and asking people for help, we said, I guess let's just go back to the entrance. At this point, I'm gassed. My feet are hurting. I'm tired. So Jessie's, my wife, is pushing me in my wheelchair. And we're just heading back to the entrance to go out that way. And we get lost in like the food court area, and that is all cordoned off. And there's like a little stanchion with like the little rope between like 2 little pilings. You could just lift the rope and go under it if you were. You're fine.
Yeah, I'm trying to do. I'm looking on my phone. I'm trying to see my steps.
Oh, your steps.
My number of steps.
Oh, yeah.
For each day. Because I haven't even looked at it. It hasn't occurred to me.
I bet it's astronomical. But we got lost in the like little food court area, and we get to the edge of that, and it's like roped off, and the guy's like, "You can't exit here." Well, I happen to be sitting in my wheelchair, and I'm not confined to a wheelchair, but he doesn't know that, and I wasn't trying to pull one over on him. But he's like, "Well, I can make an exception for people in wheelchairs," so we push through, luckily. And we get all the way back to the entrance where we came in from, which again is completely on the opposite end of the building that we want to be at. So at this point, we have to decide, do we want to try to find that shuttle service to get us back to the parking lot, or do we want to do the 1.5 mile walk back to the parking lot? What'd you get?
I'm just looking see, you can tell that's during the week. I'm working, I have an office job. That's the weekend, a lot of walk around. I do a lot of stuff on the weekend.
Those are bigger numbers.
These are slightly bigger numbers, as you can see. Starting on, Thursday.
So what is that?
Well, Wednesday I got a bunch because we were walking around in the convention center. Thursday, that's a lot of steps.
Yeah.
So let's see, Thursday, 18,527 steps on Thursday.
That's a big day.
Friday, 14,224. Because I'm assuming the difference is going to be because we're standing in lines now for photos and autographs.
Less stepping, more standing.
And so Saturday, again, a lot more standing in lines. And that was 10,722. So, not a lot. And then Sunday, 10,098. Again. So, Thursday, that was the big day where I was, because it was the slowest day. I mean, it was a busy day, but it was the slowest of the 4 days. That's where I was able to get a lot of check out a lot of the vendors and stuff like that. That was the big day where I got be able to do a lot of that stuff.
Wow.
But yeah, that's a lot of steps. Because it's way outside my norm. Because yeah, it's the same kind of pattern, for me every week.
Yeah.
But yeah, those numbers, that's a lot of numbers. That's like a day at a theme park, easily.
Oh, yeah. Doing Disney, I got friends that do Disney, and it's like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we can't find an exit. All the security guards are telling us you can't exit on these doors, but we don't know where to go. So we walk all the way back to the entrance where we came from, which again is in the opposite direction of where we want to be, but we have no other choice apparently. Walk all the way down there. We walk out the building, and now we have to decide: do we walk that 1.5 miles back to the parking lot, which the guy told us was just 2 football fields, by the way, and is not, or do we look for the shuttles? And we still don't know what these shuttles consist of. It could be little trams, it could be buses. Yeah. We don't know, right? Let's look for the shuttles, we decide.
Maybe you could Uber to your car.
Probably would have been the best option. So we're going down the front of the building on the outside now, looking for these shuttles. And after about 10 minutes of walking, we start seeing buses like loading up at the front of what is like the grand entrance of the building, right? We're like, okay, this must be it. It must be this.
Yeah.
There's signs that say orange route, blue route, green route, red route. What does that mean? We don't know. That means nothing.
I mean, I don't know. I would kind of guess those were like city routes.
I don't know. So
for the buses.
What we started doing, we just had to walk up to each bus and stick our head in and ask the bus driver, are you going to the North Concourse parking lot? And there was other people around us, like these old ladies, like, what does orange route mean? This is ridiculous. Like everyone's upset. So we go like 4 buses, and finally we find the guy. And he's like, "Yep, that's where I'm going." And we're like,
"Yeah, see, like the Disney shuttle buses, that's my primary shuttle bus experience is with theme parks, right?
Yeah,
and it says on there,
there was no sign, on the buses.
Whatever hotel or whatever, whatever park this bus goes to,
going to Disney Springs.
But there was nothing like that at all.
Nothing like that. There was just these signs on the ground that said orange route, and then the next sign said green. The next sign said red.
Huh. Okay.
So we're asking every bus driver, where are you going? We need to go to the North Concourse parking lot. And we finally find like 3rd or 4th guy. He's like, yep, that's where I'm going. And we're like, okay. So we get loaded up on the bus. We sit on, at this point, we're thinking like, okay.
Why wouldn't they have that on the sign though?
Dude, I don't know. It's insane. We asked so many people as we were walking, like, where are the buses or the shuttles?
Yeah.
Where are they go? Nobody knew. People, I don't know. Just keep going that way. Like every person we asked, it was so disorganized. So we get on this bus, and then this guy is driving the bus, and he's loading people up. So we're sitting there for about 5-10 minutes. Now, again, it took us a half hour to walk here, right? So we're like, well, it's only going to take 3 minutes for the bus to take us back to the park. It's not a long drive. You got to get on International Drive, make a left, go to the North Concourse, pull into the parking lot, and boom, you're there, right? So we're sitting there for about 10 minutes. Finally, he starts up the bus and goes. I swear to God, he got lost. He goes out on International Drive, makes a left, and then he turns into what you have to understand about the Orange County Convention Center is it's not just one building. It's like a campus of buildings, right? So he turns into...
Plus, there's all kinds of other stuff around there, too.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy.
Like restaurants and shopping centers and stuff. It's crazy, yeah.
So he turns into what looks like it's going to be the parking lot to get us to the North Concourse where we were parked. And he goes, and then he makes a left, and he starts going in the opposite direction. And we're like, well, maybe he's got to drop some of these people off at the South Concourse parking lot.
Yeah, maybe he's got multiple stops.
Right. No, he goes all the way down, turns around, comes all the way back, gets back out on International Drive, goes all the way back to where we started, and turns around and does this whole trip again, being stopped at traffic lights like 5 times along the way.
Oh, my God.
Before he turns around and then takes us...
traffic on International Drive is really slow.
Yeah, and then finally takes us to our parking lot and lets us off. This bus ride took 20 minutes, on top of the 10 minutes where we sat there waiting. So we could have walked it. We could have walked it in the same amount of time.
Oh, my God.
But it would have been more miles on our feet.
Yeah.
So that was just the cherry on top of our relatively crappy day. That was going to MegaCon as a normie on a 1-day ticket.
Yeah, I'm not exaggerating. When I leave the floor, it's about a 5-minute walk, and I'm in my room.
Yeah,
and it's only 5 minutes because we asked for a room on the 2nd floor, which is the same floor as the walkway. So it would have been like 3 minutes. I'm not kidding you. It's that close.
Yeah,
we had requested the 2nd floor because sometimes the elevators get pretty congested. But we got 3rd floor. That's the best they could do, which, okay, 1 floor down, not a big deal.
Yeah.
I know. Look at my first world problems, I'm very aware that I do go to MegaCon as like somewhat. I'm a MegaCon snob. I fully understand that.
Well, this is like your vacation.
This is my one big thing that I do every year, and I treat myself.
Some people go to Hawaii once a year or whatever. Yeah. Like, you're not doing that.
And
crap.
I go all out. And like I said, I begin saving for this. I'm already started saving for MegaCon 2027.
Yeah. So I don't know. Take from this what you will. This is, again, all my complaints. Overall, I'm just going to say it. Like, I had a horrible time. But they're all my problems. Mm-hmm. They're not MegaCon problems. If you're going to this with the proper plan and with the proper expectations, you'll have a lovely time because they deliver everything they promised to deliver. But what I realized was we should have driven up to Orlando. We should have went to Disney World one day. And then the next day I should have just driven around to all of the Orlando comic book stores. And I would have,
a lot.
And I would have had an immensely better experience.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of comic shops in the area.
That's
some really good ones too.
That's what I should have done with my time because that's the experience I wanted. I wanted to go hunt for comic books.
And they probably would have been empty.
Yeah, nobody would have been there.
Yeah, right. Now, I will say I have a friend that I work with, and you couldn't go Thursday. Yep. So part of the VIP thing is they give you 2 Thursday passes that you can then give to a friend or whoever, a friend or family member or whatever. So I had the physical badges in hand, right? And so I gave them to a coworker of mine, and him and a friend, they went to MegaCon Thursday, but they had their physical badges in hand, which they activated prior to going there. So they had a very different experience where, again, they just walk up to the entrance and they scan them in and they're on the floor.
So we didn't have the option. When you buy a ticket,
you don't have that option.
When you buy a ticket, you have the option to have it mailed to you. But we got press passes.
Yeah.
These you had to pick up in person.
Yes.
And the line to pick them up wasn't bad, but where you had to go get them took you way out of your way.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I didn't know you could get them mailed to you and pay extra to get them mailed to you.
Oh, it was an exorbitant amount. It was like $30 extra to get
per
it mailed.
badge.
Well, I mean, if you bought a 4-day badge or you bought a 1-day badge, it's irrelevant. It's just get them all mailed to you or not.
Yeah, that's a good idea, man. I like that idea. Say some cheap hotel offsite, Uber to hotel connected to the convention center and order your badge in advance and activate it before you get there. And there you go, man.
Here's a
smooth sailing to get in.
Here's an interesting FU right up the yin yang for you, by the way. If you go there and you're prepaid for your badge, or if you're buying it the day of, which is a bad idea because that line is crazy. But even just
there's people that they show up there to buy their tickets the day. Like, who does this?
There's 2 lines. Well, there's 3, I guess, technically. There's prepaid badge pickup, buy my badge, and then there's like the press pass line and some other stuff. But like even the prepaid badge was a long line.
Yeah.
But when you get your physical badge, they have all of these posters in like freestanding little like frames, right? They're like at eye level. And you got to walk up to it with your phone and scan a QR code and activate your badge, right? Here's the old gotcha, though. You're inside a 5-story tall metal building. Lots of people did not have cell service inside this building.
Yes.
Guess how much, I think you might know the answer to this. Guess how much they were charging for Wi-Fi access?
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, I didn't tell you?
No.
$80 for Wi-Fi access if you couldn't get on cellular to activate your badge.
And I guarantee you that Wi-Fi access is completely overwhelmed.
Oh, God, I bet it was horrible, yeah. I saw some people that were like, oh, I'm going to go walk outside.
So it sounds like the lesson learned here is have your badge mailed to you.
You pay the $30.
Yeah.
Especially if you're like a family, right? Let's say you need 2 or 3 or 4 badges. It's still, I think, just $30. I don't think it's 30
for all of them.
I think.
Okay.
It might. Maybe it's per person. I don't know.
That would definitely be worth it.
But if it's $30 for all of them, just get them mailed to you.
Yeah, that sounds like it'd be absolutely worth it.
Yeah, for sure. What else? I don't know. I mean, like I said, I hated it, but it's a me problem. I don't want to make it sound like MegaCon did something wrong. I just didn't have a good time.
I had a good time, as always. I would have liked to have seen more artists that I want to get stuff from, but, it's just my personal preferences. Believe me, Jim Lee was there. You kidding me? I'd love to get something from Jim Lee.
Oh, he wasn't drawing, was he?
I think he might have been. Like, you could get like a head sketch or something like that.
A little 60-second.
Yeah, but I'm sure
Scribble.
I didn't even look because I know his prices are insane, and I'm sure like a head sketch was like $32,000, just something like that. Some ridiculous amount that I'm not willing to pay. I would rather spend smaller amounts on various other artists that I can really. I mean, I want to get more bang for my buck. I don't want to get something quick and incredibly expensive from Jim Lee just to say I got it.
This is actually something I don't think we mentioned yet, and we're so deep into the video that most people aren't going to see it, but this is important too. If you're not going there for the celebrity photos and autographs, if you're not going there for the comic book creators, whether it's getting artwork or autographs, if you're just going there to shop like I was, I think you're going to have maybe not a bad time like I did, but you're going to have you're wasting this opportunity is really not meant to go shop. It's meant to experience all of it. And if you don't take advantage of all of it, you're probably shortchanging yourself.
I would disagree to a point. It depends on what you're shopping for.
Okay.
If you are there because you love buying mystery boxes,
okay, well, yeah,
you're going to be in heaven,
I guess,
because that stuff was all over the place, man. If you're there
for Funko Pops
to buy little anime statues, then yeah, it's a dream come true. Because they had tons of that stuff. I think I got a good shot of what it looks like. These enormous booths with just hundreds of little tiny anime statues and figures. So many. I have no idea what they're from.
I should have prefaced this by saying if you're a comic book fan going.
Oh yeah. Very very little comic book stuff,
and not just comics themselves, but everything related to it under that umbrella. It's limited. It really is.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I my little MegaCon haul video.
Yeah, check out the haul video. We just filmed it.
I filmed. I show you some of the stuff that I got, but it's from it's people making unique things themselves and stuff like that is always really cool to see.
Well, you got a lot of Star Wars stuff. Which is, I mean, if you're a Star Wars fan, but like...
Yeah, the OG trilogy, absolutely. The new stuff?
But again, that falls outside of the scope of like comic book stuff, I'd say.
Yeah.
So,
sci-fi comic related stuff. Those two kind of things go hand in hand at conventions and things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I gotta say, like, you're right. Like a lot of sci-fi stuff, it was overwhelmingly anime this year. Overwhelmingly so. More anime stuff than anything else.
Yeah.
And it's just not my thing, man. The only anime I like is Gundams, man. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's not true. I like some other anime. Like Akira, that movie.
I'm not
kidding me.
I'm not a big enough fan of any anime that I would buy merch related to it, even if there's a few things that I do like. Like, Akira was great. Old school Ninja Scroll, remember that?
Oh God, yeah, right.
But like, I'm not a big enough fan where I'm going to a convention for that.
My son, when he's a huge Demon Slayer fan. He loved Demon Slayer, when he was in his teens, and so I watched that with him. And I gotta say, that's good. It's a good, solid show. It's got a good, storyline and everything. I didn't mind watching that so much. I mean, if it wasn't for him, I would have watched it. But I did. I'm glad I did. It was enjoyable. But I think there's like another movie coming out, which I went to my son with the last movie, and because it's my son. He asked me to go do something with him. I'm gonna do it because you
only get one chance.
Yeah, right. I'm not gonna say no. But yeah, there's small things like anime here and there that I do enjoy. But I don't see that stuff there a lot. Like the anime I enjoy, like it's like Gundam stuff. So if you got some Gundam models, I'm there, man.
Did you ever watch Macross Plus back in the day? You remember that anime?
Oh yeah.
It's not Gundam per se, but like it's kind of cool.
They're like in a jet that turns in kind of like a quasi robot looking thing. It's got like arms and legs, but like the jet
part stays. Yeah, it's weird. I remember loving that stuff though when I was a kid.
I could never get over that aesthetic of like it's a robot with no head and it's got like a jet pilot seat.
It was more like a mech. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was like a mech. It just looked so weird to me, and I never liked the aesthetic.
I thought it was
so cool. I never really watched it. But yeah, Gundam stuff. Oh man, the mobile suits. That's some cool stuff, man.
Well, let's roll this one up with
all right.
Final thoughts. I would say again, if you want to go do everything, buy a multi-day ticket, really take advantage of everything it has to offer. It's totally worth it. You should definitely do it. If you're just wanting to go for one day and you just want to be like overwhelmed by the spectacle of it, you won't be let down. Just make sure you got comfortable shoes on.
Yeah. For me, 2 big thumbs up. Had a blast, but again, it's that's going to be mostly because of my VIP pass and what that allows me to do. If you are able to get one, I highly recommend it. Maybe use some kind of like bid sniping app or something to be able to snag one, because I can't imagine absolutely everybody renews it every year. There's got to be like a handful of people that don't. Do it if you can, if you're able to, and then just never not get it, because chances are if you don't buy it that one year, you're not going to be able to get it again.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you have it. There's our MegaCon review. I think it ran for a little longer than I expected, but
there's a lot to talk about.
We always get this one guy, and he complains in the comments every time we do a long video. I can't remember his screen name on YouTube now, but he's going to have an aneurysm when he sees this one. Sorry, brother. There's a lot to talk about.
We don't break it up into parts, you know?
See, I like long content. Lately, what I've been watching is Rob Liefield's podcast. It's usually an hour-long episode, maybe hour, 10 minutes or whatever.
You should watch the one with Jonathan Frakes and Brent Spiner.
That's a good idea.
That's pretty good.
But here's what I do. Monday through Friday, I ride my exercise bike in the morning, and I got I put my iPad on the little thing, and I watch for a half an hour while I'm pedaling. So I love long content.
Yeah.
Like if you got a long car ride in the morning, this video is for you.
Oh yeah. Like for my work, I drive around a lot during the day, you know?
Yeah.
And so, if I see somebody, that I subscribe to, has like an hour-long video, that's fantastic.
Perfect.
I can put that on. That's my entire drive around town throughout the day or whatever. That's awesome. So I really do like longer videos, as long as it's something I'm interested in.
Yeah, of course. But anyway, my point is that guy is going to see the length of this video, and
you don't have to watch it all at once, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You can come back to it.
But anyway, we'll wrap this one up by saying thanks for tuning in and watching. If you went to MegaCon, let us know in the comments down below. What was your experience like? Was it more like mine? Was it more like Matt's? Was it somewhere in the middle?
And we didn't even bring this up. I had the added bonus of running into quite a few fans of our channel while I was there.
Oh, yeah. Viewers. I didn't see any viewers on my day, but I was only there for about 4 hours.
I was there all 4 days on the floor the entire time.
That was cool.
And overall, it was about 20 people. Like 19, 20, like around there. I stopped keeping track. I was fully expecting 1, maybe 2 people.
Here was my plan. I should have told you to do this. I wish some people would have walked up to me, but nobody saw me, or maybe they did, and they were like, oh, there's that asshole. But whatever the case may be, here's what I wanted to do. And I should have told you to do this too. I wanted to ask anyone that walked up to us that might be recognized us as viewers from the channel, ask them these 4 questions. Hey, what's your name and where you're from? Is this your first time at MegaCon? What are you most excited about doing here at MegaCon?
Okay.
And then last question would be like, what's your favorite comic book, or just some other, like, what are you into or whatever.
Okay.
I had my camera with me, and I was going to, like, every time somebody walked up to me, then we could have a little montage of, I was thinking, Matt before the show, he was like, oh man, what if you think people are going to like recognize me? Hopefully nobody's too crazy or anything. And I was like, no.
I was a little worried because I'm there with my wife, and, and I'm worried about like the, internet psychos.
There's some haters. We got some haters.
Yeah.
Right. But my prediction was 5 a day. I said, I bet you're going to see about 5 people a day. That was almost right on.
It was the last day where I got hit up by like 8. That was the most day, because I'm going to chalk that up to me spending most of that day in like the comic and toy vendor area. So I'm assuming that's where we would run into most of our fans.
That's where our people are. That's where our people are at.
Yeah. And so the rest of the days, there was a couple, 2, 3, 4, like the rest of the days. And I will say this. Everyone that stopped me and said hi, it was just, they were really, really cool, super friendly. They weren't like, some kind of like lunatic who just say, hey, we really enjoy your channel. We love your videos. More than a few people said they love our Jeopardy videos. I'm like, oh, that's great. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And, a couple of people are like, hey, I really like your comic haul videos. And in fact, I went out and I bought some of those books that you talked about. That was really cool. I liked your key comic videos. So everybody that I ran into, super cool group of people, really nice, super friendly, super just your normal nerds, run-of-the-mill nerds. And I loved meeting them all. It was such an absolute pleasure. Every one of them was super polite and nice and well-spoken, and just a genuine pleasure to meet them. So if that's one of you, thank you. You were awesome.
So next year, when you go, you're going to have to get, if they want to do it, ask them. You want to do a little video? We're going to do a viewer interview. Just again, four quick questions.
Yeah, if they want to do it, sure. Maybe we should get a booth. I'm sure they're not that expensive. Probably like, $2,000, $3,000. I may not.
But anyway, moral of the story is our MegaCon review is in the books. It's over. Yeah. Let us know in the comments. What did you guys think of MegaCon if you went? Do you plan on going next year? But yeah, I guess we'll wrap this one up. Let me close it out by saying, as always, thanks for tuning in and watching. We really, really appreciate it. Go ahead and click that like and subscribe buttons if you are not subscribed. But if you're not subscribed, there's no way you're still watching this video. The only people that are still watching are subscribers. So I don't know why I'm mentioning that. Should have said that about an hour ago.
Maybe at the beginning. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But until the next one, what do we always say? Keep collecting comics.
Keep reading comics.
Yep. Supporting your local comic book store if you got one. And keep watching our videos. And until the next one, bye now.